Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hexen, bringing you another TAA Tribes Ascent Analysis commentary. We are continuing to look at the Brute class, only today we are on the map Temple Ruins, and we are playing a different role. Today we are fulfilling the role of Generhater instead of Gen Boss. This is where we go and attack the enemy generator instead of keeping ours safe. I had hoped to prolong this video until I got my new mic. Unfortunately, it did not arrive for the weekend, so I apologize for the small delay. Usually I would have another video out by now, but hey, stuff happens, right? Earlier you saw me failing a bunch of disc jumps. This is not something you want to do, but in general you do want to disc jump to get to the enemy base quicker. On this map, especially in Temple Ruins, the bases are so far apart, so getting there quicker is always a plus. I highly recommend you sacrifice that bit of life to achieve the extra speed. You're a brute anyway, so you have tons of life to begin with, and your life will more than likely regenerate by the time you get to the enemy base anyway. And you want all your life available to you when approaching the generator room, specifically because you're going to have to deal with a lot of crap once you get down here. If the team has any sort of decent defense, there's going to be turrets down here. If a Doombringer's down here, there's going to be force fields and mines. You have to watch out for motion mines and prism mines. So having all your health available to you when entering the generator room is a huge plus. It gives you more time to fire at the generator and more time behind the trigger. Like with the generator boss, you always want to stay in motion, and you constantly want to be using your grenades. Now I do want to talk about the grenades a little bit. For this loadout, I believe it's better to have a light sticky grenade. It better complements your style and your role. I just did not have enough XP to unlock the light sticky grenades before I started making this video. So that is why you do not see me using them. However, you can use the fractals to your advantage in this video as well. Right here you see me get a kill pushing the technicians off of the generator. You can use your fractal grenades to deny repairs to anyone with a repair gun. There's several times in this video where I have to use fractals to keep the generator down because I'm fighting more than one opponent at once. I have to keep the technician away from the generator while I'm engaging the people trying to kill me. So insofar as the fractal is concerned, it is great at doing that job effectively. Just like the last video too, where I showcased the map Sunstar, I mentioned that one of the cool features on that map in the generator room is that the enemy has to move through a certain location before they can even get into the generator room. That same concept applies here on Temple Ruins. Both of the entrances are drop down, and the enemies have to move through this area to get into the generator room. So throwing a fractal in there every once in a while is not a bad idea either. So there is a clip coming out here where I move outside of the generator room. Generally, I wouldn't recommend doing this, but there was such a lull in the action, and I had a couple more guys in here with me, so I figured I'd move out and kill some enemies, frag some guys outside of the room. The generator was already down. Here it is, it's coming up here. I got a couple more kills. I think this guy, yeah, he skis right into the lava. That's a kill for me. I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. But if there's a lull in the action, you know, and you've been in the generator room for about a minute or two and nobody's coming in to repair it, you don't have to stay down here. You can move out. It's at your discretion. These are just general guidelines I'm talking about here. I mean, nothing of what I say should be followed to the T. These are just my opinions on how you play these certain roles effectively. So use them loosely. They're just cool tips, I think, to keep in mind when you're fulfilling roles. But in general, if the generator room is empty, if you have a couple more people in here with you, as I do briefly here in a quick second, I move out and I start killing enemies outside. Specifically, I want to watch the flag stand. The flag is gone. Our enemy team has the flag, so I just go after random Lone Rangers here, trying to get some kills to deny the enemy team some soldiers. I would say tickets, but Tribes is not a ticket-based game. It is a flag-based game. I think both of us has the other's flag at the moment, so I'm just trying to wear down some extra opponents to make sure my other teammates don't have to deal with it. But let's say you move out and the enemy flag is still there. You should be helping to clear out the enemy flag stand. Once the generator's down, you want to make sure it's down, but if it is and you decide to move out, you want to be doing something just as useful, and keeping that flag stand clear for your runners is that something. You want to make sure it's clear of turrets, of supply stations, of force fields, and mines. So something else I want to try to talk about here, I don't know if this has any merit or not, but when to actually switch weapons is something I always see people talking about in the forums and whatnot. Is, oh, when should I switch to my secondary, or should I always keep my heavy spin fuser out, or which weapon should I be using at any given situation? And it really comes down to experience, in my opinion. I can only talk about when I decide to switch to my alternate weapon. And for the Brute, using this setup, I usually switch when the enemy is extremely close to me, and when he has just over half life left, or a little bit under. But he has to have some damage taken for me to switch out to my automatic shotgun. I wasn't really aware of this at first, and then I started watching my own gameplay and figured out that this was the case, that I would only switch to my automatic shotgun after landing a shot or two with my heavy spin fuser. Right there you saw me land a great shot on a infiltrator, I believe, and then I switched to my automatic shotgun to finish him off. And in general, I guess it's a good strategy. I mean, it works for me, but you should not be trying to whittle down your opponent with your automatic shotgun as your primary. I've done this in the past. I've used the automatic shotgun as my primary and used the heavy spin fuser as my finishing weapon. But in indoor environments like this, the spin fuser is just a more viable weapon because of the splash damage and the amount of walls and ceilings, and just for the enclosed environment. Ooh, there's my text. Let me see what I got here. Yes, I have not seen Prometheus yet. Perhaps I will go with you today. Alright. But anyways, coming back to the game, what was I even talking about? Oh yeah, your shotgun as your primary. In outdoor environments, it's more of a viable option, but indoors, there's no competitor to the heavy spin fuser. It's just the best all-around weapon, in my opinion. And a more perfect transition cannot be asked for. Here we are into the loadout screen, where you see I have exactly the same setup as I did for the Generator boss video. The concepts are all the same, only there are slight variations into how to fulfill the role more effectively as an attacker than as a defender. Your fractals, for one, if you are using fractals, and I would highly recommend unlocking and using the light sticky grenade as opposed to the fractal, because it better complements the role you're trying to fulfill. But if you're using the fractals, they should go next to the generator and in each drop down to deny area. But you don't want to be using them all the time and frivolously. You want to be using them sparingly, because you don't have a constant supply of them like you do if you're defending your own generator room. So in conclusion, light sticky grenade should be unlocked and used, but if you don't have it, the fractal will suffice. Something I really do want to talk about, though, is the pack choices that the Brute has. In my opinion, the Survivalist pack is the best pack for the Brute, period. There is no substitute. The Shield pack can be used effectively, but I find that how do I want to say this? It does two things. It helps protect you, but it also drains your energy, and that's something I don't like. As a Brute, you already have lots of health to begin with, so I find that the Shield pack is kind of redundant on top of all that extra life you have anyway. And also, when you equip this pack, you're also sacrificing your movement and the speed at which you can get around a specific area. The Shield pack is reliant upon your energy, and once the energy is gone, your movement is gone as well, and you're a sitting duck. So that's why I don't really like the Shield pack. If I had to pick a second pack, it would probably be the energy pack, to keep my energy up so I can remain mobile and in motion. The perks are exactly the same. I have Survivalist to help keep my health and energy up, and I have, Safety Third for the increased radius of my explosive for my grenades. My name is Hexen. If you like, be sure to like and subscribe for more Tribes Ascend content.